happening? I hope you're all well. So Zhilei Zhang beat Scott Alexander in the first round by KO. And Zhilei Zhang, I know Zhilei Zhang can punch. I know Zhilei Zhang is a good southpaw. And I know Zhilei Zhang has the skills. The one thing I will say, Scott Alexander, he stepped in as a replacement because Herkovich, his dad died, and Herkovich wasn't able to concentrate on his training camp. So obviously that's very sad that Herkovich's dad has died. So Scott Alexander stepped in as a late replacement opponent. And Scott Alexander, this isn't really like a great opponent. If I look at Scott Alexander's record here, Scott Alexander 16 and 5, and going into this fight, he hadn't been knocked out. This guy had fought, lost to Lerone Mitchell, lost to Travis Kaufman, lost to Carlos Negron in his last fight. So this isn't a great opponent. He stepped in at short notice. So I'm not really surprised that Zhilei Zhang won this fight. I'd expect that. And it's good that he got the KO, and it was a good straight left hand. With regards to the fight itself, Zhilei Zhang, he kind of did what a southpaw should be doing against, an orthodox fighter. And, looking to land that straight left hand. And he landed the straight left hand, and it was a good finish. My issue with Zhilei Zhang is his weight. Now, Zhilei Zhang, to me in the past looked like a fighter who was in decent shape. He was in decent shape. So, if you look at the fact that Zhilei Zhang has been in decent shape in the past, and then you look at the fact that he came into this fight at 276 pounds, and he didn't look in the best shape, that should tell you, because he thought he was going to be fighting Herkovich. So, unless he put that extra 20 pounds, unless he put like an extra 20 pounds on when he found out he wasn't fighting Herkovich, then he was most likely going to go into the ring against Herkovich in that shape. And the thing with Zhilei Zhang for me is Zhilei Zhang always looks good at the start of a fight, or Zhilei Zhang tends to have success at the start of a fight. If you look at, I remember watching him against Rudenko. I remember watching him against Jerry Forrest. I don't know if I watched the full fight, but he had Jerry Forrest down in rounds 1, 2, and 3. But then he suffered huge fatigue in that fight. So and I remember watching him against what's his name, Rudenko, and he looked good early on in that fight. But as the fight went on, he started to fatigue, and he started to get a bit lazy, and his, he just looked a bit sloppy. Like, you can see there's talent there, but he started to look sloppy. His defense started to, get worse. His work rate started to get worse. And that was, that is something that when you come in heavy, that's going to be emphasized even more. So my issue with Zhilei Zhang is, was he planning to fight Herkovich at 276 pounds? Because if he was looking to fight Herkovich at 276 pounds, I think that fight would have ended with Zhilei Zhang, being knocked out, in my opinion. Zhilei Zhang earlier on in his career was like weighing, roughly in the 250s, sometimes the 260s. But when he weighed in at 278 against Rudenko, it wasn't impressive. He was fatigued at 256 against Jerry Forrest. He weighed in his last fight at 274. And this fight, 276... I think he needs to get back down to the 250s. And if he's getting older, because I think he's 39 years old and that's a bit too difficult for him, then he needs to look at fighting in the 260s, because I can't see him beating Herkovich at 276. I think that fight is going to be possibly rescheduled. But honestly, like, he got away with it here because, as I say, he's got the technical skill. He went to the Olympics, 2012 Olympics, good amateur background, experienced guy, southpaw, you know, got the height, got the power. So in the first round, he got away with it against a late replacement opponent. But if he's looking to go in there against Filip Hrgović, a serious prospect, at 276, when he has a history, you know, of kind of decreasing his work rate and stamina and getting a bit sloppy in fights, and he wants to weigh in heavy, I don't see him having much of a chance in that fight unless, you know, Filip Hrgović has punch resistance issues that haven't been exposed yet. But either way, Zhilei Zhang got the win. You know, potentially going to be fighting Filip Hrgović next, and you know, let's see what happens in that fight if it happens. What did you make of Zhilei Zhang's performance? Do you, like me, think that his weight is a concern? And do you, like me, think that, you know, I'm going to say that I favour Hrgović in that fight. Do you, like me, favour Hrgović against Zhang if that fight does indeed happen? Let me know. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I make a new video. And I'll see you on the next video.